there, this is video 524, Z-score calculations referencing section 5.5 in your textbook. So this one, the last video, I kind of explained what Z-scores are about. This one, we're actually going to calculate some. So in simplest terms, and the way I remember it is trying to make it really complicated, but you know what? All it is a Z-score allows you to calculate a partial standard deviation. Using the graph over here, let's just say how many standard deviations above the mean is 40 minutes. Okay, so it says mean is 30, and I don't know why this diagram doesn't have that written in there. There's our mean, there's mu. So 40, there's one standard deviation, two standard deviations. Done. All right, you do the one for 15 minutes. How many standard deviations below the mean is 15 minutes? Well, that's one standard deviation, that's two standard deviations, and that's three standard deviations. So all this time when you've been drawing all those bars, remember those represent standard deviations. And if you paid attention to our graph, or you could read it, it's hard to see, but it actually shows us -3, -2, -1, 1, 2, 3. Those are all standard deviations. But here's where it gets weird. What if, for some weird reason, I want to know how many about 32 minutes? It's above the mean, I know that much. Now there's 30 and there's 35. So I'm going to guess. And I'm going to say 30's right about there. Oh, sorry, 32. And when I'm doing these Z-scores, when they don't, and how do I know when to do a Z-score? Well, you know what? If it's I call them the magic numbers. If it's these nice magic numbers across the bottom, I don't have to do a Z-score. Right? 40 worked, 15 worked. On this particular graph, I can ask about 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, or 15. And that's all good. And I don't have to do any work. But when I ask about 32, yeah, that ain't working. I know. Okay. Oops. How many standard is 32? It's less than 1. It's more than 0. Okay. I probably should use 37 or something. And I'm going to estimate it as 0.3. Right? I don't know. I think it's a little less than half. 0.3, 0.4. Because I know 32.5 would be the middle part, right? Because be halfway between 30 and 35 would be 32.5. So a little bit less than the middle. Now I'm gonna leave it at 0.3. I don't know. It's a rough guess. And I do that so that it's not, if I mess up my calculations and I get like 15 or -2 or something like that, I've got a rough guess of where it's supposed to be. And here, my friends, is the formula for the Z-score. So Z is equal to, my Z-score is equal to X minus mu over sigma, where X is your data point, mu is the mean, and sigma is the standard deviation. It sounds really complicated. It looks kind of scary. It's not. It's actually pretty cool. So all right, forgive me, my sigmas always look weird. And I always rewrite my formula, even though it's right up there. All right, so Z-score, the X is the data. So it's 32 minus mu. So that's our mean. And it says up here, I'm using this graph, mean is 30. And it also says the standard deviation is 5. So 5 goes on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to cross my Z's because they're looking like weird 2's. 32 minus 30 is going to be 2 over 5. So my Z-score is 0.4, which isn't bad. Right, I said 0.3. I got 0.4. Pretty cool. That's it. That's what calculating a z-score is about. So there's no more, it's around here, it's a little bit more than this. I hate that. That's so not math. Let's do another one. And we can get the exact amount we are above or below. Right, so z-score is equal to x minus mu over sigma. All right, now we're going to use 17. But my mean has not changed. My mean is still 30. Oh, you can't see that. It's 30. And my sigma is 5. Now, careful. You want to type this in your computer, your calculator, your phone, exactly the way you see it. So 17 minus 5 is, whoops. Okay, let's try that again. 17 minus 30. That's what I want, is minus 13 over 5. 5 by 5 minus 2.6. All right, let's see how that works on our graph. Okay, whoops, sorry, a little warp there. All right, so 17, there's 15, there's 20, so I'm going to use my pencil this time. I'm going to guess 17 is about there. By the way, if you're guessing and every time you do it, you draw the line straight down the middle and go close enough, I'm good with that. Now, let's see our standard deviation. So that's 1 standard deviation to there. That's 2 standard deviations to there. And some more. Not yet 3, right? Because 3 will be all the way to there. Right, so it's minus 3. So our answer of negative 2.6 is great. By the way, watch your calculations. I'm just going to try my calculator here. If I go 17 minus 30 divided by 5, haha, I got 11. What? Let's try that again. 17 minus 30 divided by 5. What's going on? Remember order of operations? If we look at this, 17 minus 30 divided by 5, my calculator does the 30 divided by 5 first. 30 divided by 5 is 6, and then it goes 17 minus 6 and is 11. It's quite proud of itself. So you can do this in 2 steps. If you don't want to, oops, you can go bracket 17 minus 30, close the bracket, divide by 5, and then it'll come out right. I think you're probably easier to just do 2 steps and be done with it. Just saying. All right, last one, 40 minutes. My z-score is equal to x minus mu over sigma. And I keep writing that because I want to remember that. And I'm going to go 40 minus 30 over 5. 40 minus 30 is 10 over 5. Z-score is equal to 2. And if we look, oh yeah, cool. 40 was actually one of my, I don't know, like I said, I call them my magic numbers, my pretty numbers across the bottom, but it is, indeed, 1, 2 standard deviations above the mean. So just a little reminder, at the bottom here, the signs are really important. If your z-score is positive, it's going to be above the mean to the right. If your z-score is negative, it just means that your number is less than the mean. And the most common mistakes students make are sign errors. Oh, the other thing I should say is these values for z-scores are kind of going to go from about minus 3 to positive 3. So if, like when I screwed this one up on my calculator and I got 11, yeah, that's not going to work. Your answer should always be more or less between minus 3 and positive 3. If not, if you're getting some other answer outside that range, check your math. Something went wrong. Either it was in your calculations or maybe you miswrote one of the numbers. Anyway, that is how you calculate a Z-score.